Hello friends, this is Praveen Padil. Today we are going to look at the astro chart for the year 2024. I uh, uh, I believe that you have been waiting for this particular video, and it's a long pending one for this particular year. For the past few weeks, we have been trying to upload this particular do this particular video for 2024 based on astrological, but then things were not quite good, and whenever we try to do this particular video there have been some interruptions happening. Basically it's because of the year 2024 being the planet ruled by Saturn. So yeah, we could expect some delays in this particular 2024. Anyhow, um, if the planets were blessing today, we will do this particular video, and we'll try to upload it today. So today being 21st of February 2024, we have run past almost 40-45 days into this particular year. Even then, we believe that the rest of the year holds a very important, prominent astrological placements, very interesting placements that will dictate many major events that is going to take place in 2024, and the markets too are going to be very interesting this year of 2024. So let us try to take things one at a time. So let me try to pull the astrological charts, my observations for this particular year. Then we will begin. So if you were to look at it, this is the astro chart major grahas for the year 2024, how this is placed. So if we are looking at the major trend for economy as well as the stock market is concerned, we will always look at the four major outer grahas, namely the Jupiter, Saturn, Rahu, and Ketu. Every year we have been telling that these four outer planets, major grahas, will play an important role in deciding the major trend for that particular year. So it is based on these graha sancharas of the major four planets. We will have the outlook on the economy as well as the financial markets. While it is also important for the inner planets where we look at for the daily and the short-term trends. This gives us the outset of how things will be placed in the entire year as such. So if you were to look at it, the first thing for this year 2024, we have Jupiter transit that is taking place on 1st of May 2024. Apart from Jupiter, we don't have any major transit of Saturn, Rahu, or Ketu in this particular year. So that brings us to us understand how things will place based on the planetary transit on nakshatras, based on where these planets are moving back, forward, and the backward into the nakshatras. Based on that, we will have the economical and the market outlook for this particular year. Okay. Now, first thing first, we will tell you that uh, the last 45 days, if you would have recollected or seen your stock market thing, you would have observed that there have been so much of volatile moves that are happening in this particular first 45 days of this particular year. It would be interesting to understand as to why this particular phenomenon is happening all of a sudden. So in this particular year, if you were to look at it, Rahu is actually hemmed between two major grahas of Jupiter and uh, Saturn. So what basically we have is like three major grahas are in three houses consecutively. So Jupiter is placed in Aries, and Saturn is in Aquarius. In between Aquarius and Aries, we have Pisces where Rahu is currently placed. So Rahu is actually moving towards Saturn. So in the last year video also, we made it very clear that since we have seen Saturn moving away from Capricorn and moved into the Aquarius, now he will not be going back to the Capricorn at any point of time in this particular year. So what will happen is like we need not look at the backward motion. Like let us start looking forward for the forward motion. So basically, it's something like Saturn is prepared to look forward for the next 27 years of journey. So he is prepared. That is the reason as to why we will be looking at for major um, developments that are taking place on the economical front. Now, what happens is that Rahu being placed in Meena, he is trying to push Saturn into the previous zone. So, what happens basically is like even though the economy wants to have a leap ahead, now Rahu, which is a force, a real force, 10 times more forceful than the Saturn itself, is trying to push back this particular Saturn in this particular year of 2024. So we will be hearing a lot of news in this particular 2024, wherein we will be seeing a lot of slowdown in the economy, slowdown in the markets. Some will also challenge by saying that there is a recession happening on ground and all those things. But Saturn is actually preparing for the best leap ahead. But we cannot omit the fact that we will go through economic slowdown and economic uncertainties in this year of 2024. So let us try to understand how things are placed. Look at how things are, how plans are placed in the year, in the month of February, the next few days. We have Saturn sitting in Sadabisha, which is ruled by Rahu till April 6th. That is one major factor as to why we are looking at for volatility in the market. So basically, what happens is that as long as Saturn is sitting in this nakshatra, we are going to see more volatility till first week of April. That is for sure, because we cannot omit the fact that Rahu is trying to push the Saturn back into the recession mode or kind of slowdown mode. So that one factor we need to keep in mind. But basically, economy is trying to move ahead, and safely we can say that the Jupiter, who is responsible for the financial market, is marching ahead into the positive territory. So that is one major reason that if you were to recall our October 2023 video, we made it very clear that October lows of 2023 is not that easily to be broken. And we also believe that in 2024, I don't think a revisit of 2023 October lows will be possible. If at all there is a revisit, it will be only for a temporary 1 or 2 days, nothing more than that. So basically, we have set a milestone in the overall bull market that is taking place in India. That is October 2023 lows. But the market are most likely to consolidate in the year 2024. So if you were to look at it, the next 2 months, we have a few challenges that are upcoming. First is like Saturn himself is placed in Rahu's nakshatra, which will pull down the economy a little slower. And that is why the financial market, which wants to make new high, will keep making new highs, but there will be a lot of volatility. There will be sharp corrections in this first 2-3 months of this 2024. And another thing that we need to keep in mind for this particular remaining February, March until April 15th is that Sun is conjunct till around March 15th. Sun is actually conjunct with that of Saturn, which is also some bit of negative influence. And post that, Sun will be conjunct with Rahu, that is approximately from March 15th to that of April 15th. So again, Sun is actually conjuncting with two negative energy grahas like the Saturn as well as the Rahu. So in April, we also have this solar eclipse. March, April, we have this solar eclipse coming up due to Sun in the house of Rahu, so conjunct Rahu. So basically, we are going through a negative kind of environment that will be taking place, even though the financial markets or the representative of the financial markets, Jupiter, is very, very strong for the first 3 months of 4 months of 2024 till April 30th. He is very strong in Aries. Now, here comes an interesting another observation, main important transit of this particular year in May 1st, 2024. What happens is Jupiter will be moving into Rishabha Rashi, like from Mesha Rashi. So basically, there are divided opinions from many astrologers that some keep saying that since he was sitting in Mesha all these months, which is ruled by Mars, his best friend. So he was happy and everything went on very well. So the moment Jupiter moves into Rishabha Rashi, that is on 1st of May 2024, things will collapse. Because of the fact that Jupiter will be moving into the Shatru stan of Rishabha Rashi, who is ruled by Venus. So basically, Jupiter and Venus are the two opposite energies. So things will go halfway and all those things. But I have to disagree with this particular concept, because I believe that Jupiter, whenever he is sitting in a Rishabha Rashi, he will continue to go into the best of the best nakshatras that he loves to. So basically, what happens is, like, this is not a completely negative factor when Jupiter moves into Rishabha Rashi. He's actually placed comfortably because of the nakshatra that he will go through in this particular Rishabha Rashi. Now, what happens is that, how do we put it across, like how do the synergize comes into play between the Venus and Jupiter? My understanding is that the kind of run up that we have seen in many stocks when Jupiter was clearly in Aries, that kind of run up may not happen. And you need to be very stock specific selection to be done from May 1st, 2024, because we need to be very careful in selecting the stocks. What happens is, like, since Venus is a house lord of Rishabha, he will try to project some companies which is not deserved for a bull run. Okay, so that kind of things will have limelight. And if your horoscope is not aligned with the with the stock market trading and investment aspect, you will get drawn into this particular fast running stocks, wherein which is not what do you say, like, which is not eligible for a perfect bull ride. So you'll get trapped into this particular such silly stocks. So you need to be very careful when Jupiter is in Rishabha Rashi, like from May 1st, 2024, all the way till end of this 2024. You need to be very, very careful with the stock selection. That is the first thing that we need to understand here. Now, what happens here is, if you were to look at the transits that is taking place, the nakshatra transits that are taking place with the Jupiter, you can see that he moves from Kritika, Rohini, Mrigashirisha, and the Rohini nakshatra once again. So what happens basically, he is much comfortable when you're looking at the nakshatra transits that are taking place in this year 2024. And we have made it very clear that once he has surpassed Rahu in the last 2023, things were getting much better and much better with each passing day. That is very clear. So basically, Jupiter is not trying to give any kind of shocks or any kind of uh, what do you say, like uncomfortable situation, especially in the financial market. So I don't believe that there are going to be crashes in the stock market in 2024, or there's going to be a start of a bear market in 2024. That is not a scene in this particular 2024 chart. What is seen in 2024 is the economic slowdown that is very clearly seen. Especially, see what is happening with Saturn, because Saturn and Rahu combination is what we are going to make this particular economic projections a slowdown. Okay, so what happens is, like, see, till April 6th, he is in Satabsha, which is like ruled by Rahu. Then he moves to Purva Bhadrapada, which has been ruled by Jupiter. Basically, Saturn is trying to get into the positive mode. As I told in this particular video beginning, the economy wants to try to revive on its own. Okay, it's trying to make a major leap into the next forward 27 years. So things are getting set for the beautiful economic atmosphere. But the problem is with the Rahu, which is trying to push this Saturn back into the recession mode. And that is where it's very interesting to see what is happening with Rahu. Rahu currently is in Revati Nakshatra till July 8th. Now he moves to Bhadrapada on July 8th. It is ruled by Saturn. Basically, it is like trying to give more force and try to push Saturn back into the economic recession mode. So economic slowdown is very much likely to be seen in the second half of this 2024. It's going to be very challenging, yeah, because what happens is like you will think with a rational mind that on ground reality seems to be very bad, or on ground reality seems to be slow down. There is pain, economic pain all around, but the markets are trying to recover. Every time it had a sharp fall, it is trying to recover and make a new highs. So that kind of illogical thinking that we will be seeing in this particular 2024. Never be carried away by the crashes and bear market concept in this 2024, because we are not seeing that there will be sharp corrections. We are not saying that there will be sharp corrections, but it will not be a crash or a beginning of a new bear market. No, that is not possible in the year 2024. We need to be very, very careful in the in the second half of this particular year, especially from July onwards, when uh, Rahu moves into Uttara Bhadrapada, basically ruled by Saturn, and Saturn and Rahu will have a conjunction in the year of 2025 only. Till then, the things will be very, very slow. And another thing that we are looking at in this particular 2024 is going forward. We have already been listening to many layoffs in the year 2024 first 2 months. Now, what happens is like from July onwards, it's going to be much more serious. Like the job loss is going to be real. There will be many people who will be losing jobs very frequently. So, first thing that we need to keep in mind is that try to stick wherever you are currently placed, and do not try to try for a jump, especially from July onwards. Please do not try for a jump from the existing job, because it's going to be a very difficult job market from July onwards. Okay, and it's going to be a real pain. We need to go through this particular economic pain that is going to upcome in the second half of this 2024. Though the markets will try to recoup from all the corrections, it will try to recoup into the new highs with different sets of charts, with different sets of stocks. It will continue to rise again, but it will be most likely like a kind of range bound kind of market with a lot of volatility in it for the entire year 2024. As an investor, if you are looking out for an addition, so there will be a lot of opportunities coming up in 2024 to add up to the portfolio. Try to hold the portfolio strong in this year 2024, and forward it will be much better than 2024. That is the first thing. As a trader, it will be an interesting year for 2024 for traders, because traders love volatility. There will be a lot of volatility that is going to take place, especially in the second half of 2024. Now let us try to understand the economical front. Now, in this year 2024, one institution whom we are all looking out for is the Fed from the US, because Fed Federal Reserve is like the benchmark for the all central bankers. Now, what happens here is it very interesting. 2024 is there are most likely many mistakes that the Federal Reserve is going to make in the year 2024. Why? The reason is very simple. We have been hearing Jerome Powell again and again that he keeps saying that we have been waiting for the incoming data to take a decision. That is the usual usual thing that he keeps saying in every other meeting. So what happens in this particular 2024 is like there'll be mixed bag of data that are coming up with. Okay, on one hand, you will see that inflations are shooting up. It will shoot this year 2024. On the other hand, you will see the rise of the jobless claim that will be taking place. On the other hand, there will be high spending also in the economy. So it will be a mixed bag of data that are going to come up in 2024. There will be huge volatility in the data that are coming up with. So the basically what happens is like the Fed also will be pushed to a corner wherein they will be unable to understand what exactly is happening. If you were to recall, like last 2 years, all the meetings, all the press briefs that has been taking place from Fed chair, you will understand that many times he himself is getting confused with what is exactly happening on ground. this is the year wherein that will culminate, like it will burst, like there will be a lot of volatility on the economic data front. So Fed are going to make a lot of mistakes in the year 2024. Thankfully, RBI hopefully will not follow the path of Fed, because we believe that RBI has much stronger sense to understand the data than the Fed at the current moment. Whether you agree with me or not, the present situation warrants that we are in a much better financial system than that of US. So that is where we are standing up. So second main important thing that we are looking out for with regards to the financial system is that we are seeing in the second half of 2024 a new institution birth. Okay, birth of a new institution that could take place between July 2024 and March 2025. In between this, there will be an inaugurated new institutions, which either could be replacing the existing central banking systems all across the world, or it could be an institution which will be superlative to that of the existing central banking system. Basically, you think like if you have so much of confusions that are happening on ground, especially on the financial front, financial system, and obviously everyone will be interested in having a much better, a much stable uh, financial system. That is what we are going to look at in the year 2024. So a birth of a new institution which will be superlative to that of the existing banking system or the financial system is seen in this particular chart, and that will have approximately 60 years of supremacy over the central banking system. So I'm not in a position to tell you what kind of system it is going to be, but then let us wait and watch in the second half of 2024 how things will shape up. Now, another important thing that we will discuss for this 2024 is that two major elections that are going to take place, one in India and one in US. So let us see how the things are placed. If you were to look at it in India, 2024, April, May is the election period that we are looking at. And if you were to look at it, there's a major transit of Jupiter taking place on 1st of May 2024. As I noted, there are many concepts floating around saying that till April, it is going to favor some party, and after May, it is going to favor for the other party. No, I don't believe in that particular thing. The reason is very clear that uh, it is kind of Jupiter is stationed uh, in Kritika Nakshatra, which is ruled by Sun. So the existing government is most likely to retain this particular power. So BJP and Modi 3.0 is most likely to happen. So what happens between the Jupiter transit of from Mesha to that Rishabha? What kind of effect would have happen is like there could be some kind of confusions taking place on ground during that particular period of the election time. So that is the reason as to why. And another thing that we have noted here very clearly is that since Jupiter right now is having an influence of Mars, that is why we are seeing some kind of agitation from the farmers that is currently taking place in Delhi. So that should not hamper in any way the elections. That is not seen, especially from April onwards. There will be some kind of confusion, so, but ultimately it's going to be Modi 3.0 that is going to take place. So uh, all grahas, especially if you were to look at that, Jupiter is clearly favoring the existing government setup. So if you were to look at Saturn, he will be moving from April 6th, especially during the first week of election week. We are seeing that he will be moving into the Jupiter. So basically, these two grahas are actually promising continuation of the existing government after some uh, as usual, like there will be some kind of ups and downs on ground, but then ultimate result will be Modi 3.0. The second major elections that are going to take place in 2024. See, this is where the things are little different. Now see what happens here is Jupiter goes into a retro mode on October 9th, 2024. Okay, which seems that Jupiter is not at the best. This is the period from October 9th to till December 31st is the period when he will not have a full control over what is taking place. He's become more of a negative side playing graha. So this is where what happens is that Saturn is also getting into the retro mode, especially during the first week of November, wherein the elections in US are going to most likely take place. So basically, if you were to look at it, the first thing, there's a change that is seen in the US election, that is, which means like the existing president could be changed. So I don't know how far like Biden is comfortable in uh, getting re-elected, whether he will stand for this particular election. I'm not sure about that. First thing, and second thing, see what happens here is Jupiter is actually in Mrigashirisha Nakshatra during that particular first week of November when the elections are due. Mrigashirisha Nakshatra, which is Mars, that too, like Jupiter is placed in that particular nakshatra, shows that a leader with very, very strong fighting ability will come up. So if you were to identify two leaders on the opposite side, I don't know whether Biden will be running for this presidential election, but we'll hope that he is the existing running candidate for the Democrats and for the Republican. If we were to look at the Trump, even again with the case of Mr. Trump, is we are not sure whether he will be running up for this particular presidential election. But looking at the charts, it's a promising factor for Mr. Trump running for this particular election. So look at the two leaders on the opposite side of Mr. Biden and Mr. Trump. What happens here is like who is actually showing you as a leader who has that kind of ability to fight, who has a fighting spirit more. So Jupiter is indicating that sitting in the Mrigashirasha nakshatra in the first week of November, he is actually placing some kind of favorism for towards Trump. So if at all, if Trump is going to run for this particular election, it is going to be a comeback of Trump in 2024, most likely. This is what is indicated in this particular chart. So this sums up for this particular session, wherein we are looking out for a volatile 2024, especially in the second half. Be very careful with the stock selections. There will be sharp corrections, but every corrections will be bought into, and there will be real economic pain, but the financial markets and the economic outlook will be in two different opposite directions. So you will have confusion like what is happening on ground and what is reflected in the financial markets are two different things, and that will be clearly evident in the year 2024. So this brings up the conclusion of this particular 2024 astro chart. Once again, before winding up, all these are purely based on astrological insights. Whatever my understanding about astrology, as usual, I keep saying, as usual, I keep saying that the astrology doesn't go failure. It is only the astrologer who looks at the astro chart at the time of making predictions or forecast. If that person's time cycle and that moment uh, planetary position is favoring, whatever he says it comes true. Whatever he says, if he's running through bad time, whatever he's saying, it will turn out to be a failure. So I have seen my own share of fair amount of correct forecast as well as wrong forecast in the past. Hopefully, if grahas are aligned for the perfect forecast for this particular year, this video, whatever we have made assumptions on this particular year 2024, will come true. So hopefully, take care, take charge of this particular 2024. We will meet you soon in some other video. Thank you so much for watching this particular video. Thank you. Bye.